everybody, for another edition of the Club Cool podcast. I am your host, Barrett Dudley, and I am joined in the Washed Media Studios by Phil Battaglia.
Yo,
What's
thanks
up,
for that
Phil?
intro, man.
You're welcome. I was kind of doing like a Jordan thing, you know? What you looking at over there? You closing some deals?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
maybe. We'll see.
I mean, after selling the most expensive property in Austin last week or earlier this week, I'm surprised you're even bothering.
I know. I should just take a break, right?
Yeah, you should just, rest on your laurels a little bit.
Man, I sure would have loved to have been a part of that.
You're what people are saying. You're on an up and coming real estate agent.
Sure.
You're on the like the ones to watch list.
Yeah.
Is that's what people have been saying, I think, right?
Yeah. I'd like to joke about that stupid list that is the Elite 25 here in Austin, the top 25.
Right, of course, naturally.
And a good friend of ours, I had him Photoshop me into their group photo.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would love to troll.
I mean, but all things considered, you do actually want to be in that group, right? Kind of?
No.
Okay.
I mean, sure, but
like if they come calling, they're like, Phil, we got to have you.
Yeah. I'll be waiting by the phone.
But yeah, man, how much did that house go for? 40 million? Or
it was listed at 38.9. I don't know what it sold for.
Okay.
In that ballpark.
Yeah. I always like to do, you're in real estate. Austin is obviously one of the hottest real estate markets in the country, if not the world. When you're up to that level, when you're looking at houses that cost $40 million, it's not even really that good of an investment anymore, is it?
Right.
Like you've gone way past the threshold of like, this property is going to appreciate steadily over the course of the next several years.
You're not laying that check down and being like, ooh, I hope in a year it'll be at 10%.
It'll be right. No, I mean, in fact, and I just feel like, in fact, you constantly see people trying to unload these massive estates for far less than they paid for them. Or like you'll hear about, big like Hollywood Hills mansions that somebody had listed for, $27 million and now they're down to asking for 17.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
what's different in this scenario right now, though, in this current environment, is that there's so few of these types of homes in Austin.
Yeah.
And if you are dead set on being here, they're easy to not easy to sell, but easier. In Hollywood, there are dozens and dozens of homes just like this that have, but, there was another home that had the previous record set last year on Lake Austin that sold for around, I think it was $28 million, and they had multiple offers. And the guy that bought it came out and said that a week after he got in the house, he got a letter saying, "I'll pay you 10% more."
Wow.
And he turned it down. So, I mean, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, 10% more, though, like, is that going to cover everything you just went through?
No,
like,
you have to pay 6% to realtors.
Yeah, yeah.
And then,
so, yeah, that was a bad offer to that guy.
Well, the guy thought, you know what? It doesn't hurt to ask.
That's fair. But
house wasn't even that great either.
But yeah, at that point, when you're throwing $40 million at a house, it's just like, I've got the money. This is the house that I want. Let's do it.
That house is special.
Yeah.
It is far and away one of the top 3 houses I've ever seen in Austin.
Okay. How many bedrooms?
Like 7.
Okay. Yeah, see, it's not even that many.
It's not to be honest, it's not over the top. It's a big house. It's single level. There's one little game room, little stairs that go up to a little game room.
Yeah.
It's all one level. What gets you into these price brackets is the amount of frontage on the water that's private. And they have 8, almost 9 acres.
Jeez.
And a private island that's comes with it.
Yeah.
And you attach this famous architect's name to it, on and on and on. It's oh man, we'll have to post the link to the house. It's just something.
Yeah, yeah. Well, today on the show, let's see. The big story is pretty obvious for anybody that's been paying attention. This has made all of the news circuits, regardless of it's on. This thing started on Bloomberg, and now it's been covered by every Associated Press outlet and USA Today and all of the Complex and Hypebeast and everything. And it is this. So it's been a very, very big deal. So big, in fact, that I believe Circling Back already covered this earlier this morning. They're just stepping all over our turf. That's how big this story is. But Nike has been kind of exposed as nothing confirmed or admitted here, but the look is bad because a VP, a high level exec, a VP of like the direct to consumer, marketplace, basically.
Their bread and butter.
Yeah. I mean, she was in charge of so much. She very, very high up in the company is what I'm saying here. Well, her son is one of these big time resellers on Instagram, posting up with 800 boxes of like off-white Jordan 5s. And it would appear that he was using some select information that only he would have access to through his mom's job. He was covered in in this original Bloomberg article that was just talking about the sneaker investment and sneaker reselling in general. And this kid is a teenager. He's like 19 years old. And so, of course, he's an idiot. And he let slip accidentally on 2 different occasions who his mom was. The whole thing was exposed. Bloomberg covered it, released the article, included his mom's name, everything, like that connection, even though he had asked them not to, because, of course, this is now an even bigger story. Next thing you know, Ann Hebert is her name. She's resigned after a 25-year career at Nike. So this is a huge deal. Before we kind of talk about some of the nittier grittier details and kind of our thoughts about it, I did just want to mention again to go check us out. Patreon.com/clubcool for more extra content. There are a couple of different tiers to choose from. You get a couple of different editorials based on which one you choose, and you'll get some little short form bonus podcasts as well. Bunch of good stuff over there. Check it out. Patreon.com/clubcool. That is the best way to support the podcast this week and this month. Obviously, check out the sponsors that we've had over the last several weeks. But right now, the ask is to go join us on Patreon.com. Starts at only $2 per month. You won't even know that it's coming out of your bank account, and you can get a nice little discount if you just pay for a whole year in advance. Okay, so Phil, any overarching big thoughts on this story?
Yeah, I think she knew what was going on. A, and B, I love it. I love shit like this.
It has been. Look, we're all well aware that the sneakers app has just like it's been an incredible thing for Nike because even when people are complaining about it, it is just fueling the hype cycle. It is press, it is coverage. People are like, it trends on Twitter every single Saturday morning when there's like a big drop that nobody hit on and everybody is complaining about, right? So it's this, it's a machine. We talk about it all the time on this podcast. Quick aside, I've hit a couple licks recently. Ooh. Yeah, they gave me the cheese. Yeah. And now I'm feeling great about myself.
Is this one right here?
No. These are from last year, I think. But these are Court Purple Jordan 1s that I hit on a Foot Locker restock, shockingly. But recently I was able to pick up a women's pair of the Coast Blue Dunks.
Nice.
Larden won them. Sold them for $350. And then I hit on the ready-made Blazers, which I obviously don't want because they're horrendous.
Oh, really? You hit on those?
Yeah, and I sold those for $350.
You probably hit on them because they are horrendous.
Why are they selling for so much then?
Wait, you sold them for how much?
$365, $365, I think.
And you bought them for
$160.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are bad. I did kind of like the swoosh.
Yeah.
How they changed that a bit.
But the overall look of the shoe
you could never wear them.
It's not good. Not good. Huh. Anyway, so I'm sucked back in, is what I'm saying, because that's how this shit works. But yeah, this is such a bad look for Nike because we just went through the trophy room scandal, right? Did you heard about this one?
No.
This was okay. I didn't have the full story here until everybody started talking about the story, but I knew about these shoes before I realized who was offering these shoes. Michael Jordan's son owns a store, which I believe is based in Miami, called the Trophy Room.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a strip club.
The Trophy Room did a collab with Nike on a Jordan 1 that looks like a Chicago Jordan 1, but is like a little bit, is tweaked a little bit, and the colors are kind of faded out, and it's got some other detailing, and I'll pull it up for you here. Dang it, why does it keep doing this? Anyways, almost all of the stock was being released through Marcus Jordan's store, Trophy Room. Mm-hmm. There was like a little tiny shock drop on sneakers that, I don't know, probably had a couple thousand pairs. But most of the stock was being released through Trophy Room. And about a week before these even released, pretty much every single big reseller in the game was posting their photos with hundreds of boxes of these. Mm-hmm. So he denies this, just like the Nike exec denies having any knowledge or involvement of her son's reselling business. Mm-hmm. But what Marcus did is basically take the 10,000 pairs of these that he had and backdoored all of it for whatever, like $700 a pair. Uh-huh. Resellers are flipping for $1,500 a pair, or whatever these are going for now. But he basically just he made the projections are that if he backdoored as many as people think that he did, which was essentially the entire stock, that he just like came up. He probably made about $9 million.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because nobody hit on these. The raffle was a total disaster. It flooded the system and broke their server immediately, and then they tried to change to like this like email entry system, but as soon as you sent the email, like the inbox was already completely full, and you just got a mailer demon and return to sender on any type of email entry.
A mailer demon.
Mailer demon. Nobody got these, is what I'm saying, and people were, I don't know. This was all this talk about reselling culture and how it's kind of ruined the game, and you and I have talked about how like everybody and their mom is on the sneakers app, because why not, when you can just hit a pair of shoes that you don't even really like that much and sell them for double and make a quick couple $100? Like why would anybody not participate in this? And it's just been bastardized to hell, and there's like, you know, it's kind of an all-out mess. At the same time, it's pushed sneakers. The Bloomberg article is even titled like sneakers are now an investment level asset. They're not. It's not just a collecting anymore. People are literally treating this like investment.
Well, they quote the guy whose title at StockX is senior economist.
Yeah.
What is that? They have a senior economist?
The guy that put together the S&P 500 of shoes.
That's I had no idea that they were that deep.
Yeah. So anyway, all that to say, having the curtain pulled back on one of these resellers whose mom is literally a 25-year career woman and big-time exec at Nike. Mm-hmm. And the article is the Bloomberg article especially is done so well because they save that little piece of information until the very end.
Yeah.
So they're talking about how this guy is like, you know, what his big moneymaker is actually like buying up all the bricks and basically like flooding like. And that is a piece of this. If you can get a giant section of the stock for an item that isn't really moving that well, but you suddenly control the market, then you can push that price up a little bit. You can make 10 to 20 bucks.
I never heard of this concept with the bricks until that article.
I knew that this was happening a little bit. It's obviously less sexy and less glamorous than posting your Instagram shot of you sitting in front of 200 pairs of trophy rooms.
But it pays the bills.
But it pays the bills, and it's like, again, it's when you read about that piece of the hustle, it actually becomes even clearer how much of a business this is. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that's difficult to knock. I don't know if you saw that article that I think Complex put out a couple weeks ago about what the actual startup costs to becoming like a bot cook group reseller is.
What is it?
Thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. And several hundred per month, and like licensing rights to be able to use the bots, and your cook group fees, and your like, and just a bunch of other shit that you might not necessarily be thinking about. Mm-hmm. I think everybody just thinks like, oh, you pay $150 for the bot, and then you're botting, but it goes way deeper than that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, so it's like credit due to the people that invest the time and invest the money and figure this out and make it a little business. But then you get a piece of the story like this, where this guy clearly had inside information and was using not only like the advantages that he had, but also his mom's credit card.
And discount codes. That's the most glaring fact, that he knew what was going on. Or she did.
And traveling to all the Nike outlets, you think he might have had a little insight into what stock was where?
Yeah.
What coupon codes were working where?
Uh-huh.
Like, it's the curtain pulled back on the shadier sides of this thing that people were already kind of pissed off about. And so it's, of course, unleashed like lots and lots of memes and lots of jokes and lots of just kind of disgust about the whole thing in general. And yet, it won't change anything.
Right.
Because the fact remains that there is still a giant thirst for limited sneakers. And the fact still remains that you can just pull up the app and pick up something and make a quick buck. And so it's, to that end, like there's no expectation that like this big reveal will actually have any effect on the market at large.
It seems to me, this is an ignorant observation, that if they really wanted to stop all the negative press, all the negative things that come with this black market, I'm talking about Nike and Adidas, just find a way to get rid of the bots, to either block them or put in the investment to get rid of the bots. Because without the bots, I don't know how you do this.
You can't do this without the bots.
So, to me, their main goal...
That's the only way to beat the system and collect multiple tens or hundreds of a singular sneaker. Like in the Bloomberg article, he talks about how he's showing up at a warehouse for a delivery of 600 pairs of Yeezys.
Mm-hmm. That his Cook Group put together.
Yeah. And by the way, you want to know why Yeezy 350 Boosts are still selling? It's because the Cook Groups are basically buying the entire stock and then controlling the market price. It's not because people like...
And if... to expand on my ignorance, this is stupid, but like if Nike... I don't think they give a shit, because their goal is to go direct to consumer, even if that consumer is a bot. We're selling the shoes.
Right.
Don't care.
Yep.
If you're upset about it, not our problem.
Yeah.
Although it is their problem.
I do wish, I wish, so like a year ago, even a year and a half ago, I really did think that there was a bubble here.
Yeah, for sure.
I did not think that the whole, this hype sneaker thing was really going to last.
Yeah.
But I wish I had stopped and considered and done a little bit more research about this shift from Nike. And what I'm saying is I wish I had bought Nike stock because their market cap has doubled in the last year, basically from pre-Last Dance to now. And they are doing, I think it said, they're since 2014, their direct-to-consumer revenue is up 4x. So it's like this shift away from the big box stores and the mall stores and the Foot Lockers and all that, like just a genius move from Nike. And we're actually seeing it from a brand like Eme as well. It's one thing that I started really noticing for this past fall season, but they have clearly made a conscious decision to, one, limit the number of wholesalers that carry their product, and then limit what product those stores can even get.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff that sells out immediately on their website and that is like clearly like the big movers and the hot pieces, none of that shit makes it to their wholesale accounts anymore.
And this even goes back to when we were in the game with brands like, for instance, Vineyard Vines. There was that big movement to where they were opening up their own brick and mortars.
Right. Yep.
They were stripping these boutique
mom and pop shops.
Yeah, but they weren't just like startup mom and pops. They were established. Like in Oxford, Mississippi, I forget the name of the guy, Steve Hinton.
Hinton. Yep.
I don't know if he was one of the victims. I think he was. That they just took, they would cut his buy in half, almost.
Okay.
No, you're not gonna be able to buy that line anymore because it's going directly to our stores and to our website.
Gotcha.
But that was just, I guess that's just Smart business on their behalf.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, that's a great point. Like Nike knows what numbers it needs to hit.
Yeah.
They've done the math. So you're right. Their margins are great regardless of which consumer gets it, a bot or a real person that wants to wear the shoes or sell the shoes for their own gain. And another good point as to why it's kind of probably silly to expect change, but just back to the bubble, I still, we're treating these things like investments now. This is a new asset market. And it just ties into this to what may end up being the most lasting like long tail of the pandemic is just like the retail investor sector, whether that's with GameStop and AMC and Reddit and Wall Street Bets and the whole Robinhood crowd. The fact that like people like the three of us sitting in this room can now so easily just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy a little stock today. I'll just dabble in that. I'll play around with that. It's just right at your fingertips. You don't need some fancy E-Trade account. You don't have to pay a fee for your brokerage, whatever, like yada yada. And like on that same spectrum is that collecting cards is huge again.
Like baseball cards?
Yes.
I saw that
people
defensive end from the Steelers is like opening up a card shop.
Not only that, but now people are also investing in collecting in these Top Shot things, which are little clips. They're highlights. They're buying highlights.
Huh?
Yes. And
Pull that up. I have no idea. That's way over my head.
Randy, you know about this?
We talked about it.
Oh, you did, huh? These guys.
Yeah, NBA Top Shot. You buy these little. They do, and again, they are utilizing the drop strategy popularized by streetwear and clothing brands and sneakers. So they like, these packs release. You got to be quick to buy the packs, and then you'll get like, you'll get, I don't know, like a Greg Ostertag layup, which is worth like $5, but like maybe you'll get like a Ja Morant like first 10 assist game or something. I don't know.
That is really dumb.
And then, okay, that's what I think too. But people are buying these things for multi-thousands of dollars now. They are literally investing in these as if they are shorts or stocks or anything like that.
Is it a USB drive that comes with the video?
I don't know. I really don't know how this works, Phil.
That makes no sense.
I just know that this exists and is being talked about a lot. And
God, it's like you'd have to own the licensing to each one of these clips.
You do.
Technically own it.
When you get it, you own the license to the clip. I think.
Who's to say they're not just like copying these on another USB drive 20 years from now? I got to see these. Do you own one, Randy? He does?
Here's most. Oh, look, Ja Morant. Hey, I just mentioned him.
Let's see that. $240K. And you own every shot.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
What the fuck?
So, here's my thing. Here's my question. And this is it's for you. It's a general interest question that I legitimately would like the answer to. Why is sneakers, the re-rise of baseball cards, this digital Top Shot thing, why is any of this any different than Beanie Babies, Pogs, or baseball cards when we were growing up? Because all of those ended up being major regrets, total money sucks, and were dead a few years after the cycle was over. Mm-hmm. And people are stuck with 4,000 Beanie Babies, or me at my house in Houston, just binders and binders and binders full of basketball cards.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that's new with this time around on the basketball cards is that your shit is not worth anything unless it's graded. So you to even be in the game, you're sending your cards off to those grading services like PSA or whatever the other one's called, and having them graded and put in the little plastic thing and getting them like gem mint or near mint 9, 10, blah, 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 blah.
That's another suck on your money. That costs money, right?
Yeah.
To get it graded?
But
it can still be worth nothing after that.
So we get the Bloomberg article about how sneakers are an asset class now. And like, that's how this stuff is being treated as well. And am I crazy for thinking that this shit is going to implode?
Not at all,
in
dude.
3 years or however long?
No.
Like, are we really doing this? Are people really going to be like, oh, well, in 2020, what I'm really, really glad that I did is 2 things. I bought a bunch of Square stock, and I bought a Ja Morant hologram dunk Top Shot for $240,000. 2 best decisions of my life. Like, no way, right?
I don't know, man.
Dude,
the barrier of entry on
autographs
this
are not even
high.
worth anything anymore.
Right. Who gives a fuck about an autograph?
Like that shit doesn't sell like it used to.
No.
You could probably get like a Michael Jordan signed basketball for $1,000.
Right.
Maybe less. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. The only stuff that intrigues me that would be worth a lot is the really old stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe, in 75 years, they'll be saying that about this Ja Morant dunk.
Yeah. I don't know. You can... Can't I still pull up this clip on YouTube? Probably?
Absolutely. You're watching it right now.
I just don't...
Unless there is a market to resell this to ESPN, they're going to show it. I'm sure they have rights to it.
That's a great question. Yeah.
I don't understand.
We need an expert to come on and explain this to us. But, yeah. So
wow, that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
I had no idea those even existed.
Yeah.
And that's...
I'm glad to teach you something new.
Thank you.
This is because you know what? I only really know about this because of Twitter, by the way.
I'm off Twitter.
Yeah. So, yeah, crazy stuff. Just final thoughts on the Joe Hebert West Coast streetwear thing. As big of a story as it is, and as crazy it is to think about, and as like kind of feel good as it is to be like, I knew those fuckers were cheating. His mom lost her job, man.
Yeah.
And like
her little shit son.
I guess if she'd probably raking in several $100,000 a year at that level at Nike, you'd have to guess.
I would have ventured to guess more than that.
Maybe more than that.
Yeah.
So like she's probably fine, and I feel like at that level she'll probably pretty easily move on and find the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's once you're like VP, exec, C-suite level stuff, it's like it doesn't even really matter the industry. You know, you constantly hear about like, oh, like the new Yahoo CEO like came over from Chewy.com.
Yeah.
It's like these two things have nothing to do with one another.
I'm not shedding any tears for her.
Yeah. So, okay. All right.
Not at all.
Just clearing that up because it's pretty crazy to think about.
It's an unfortunate circumstance for her.
Especially because she was essentially a lifelong Nike woman.
25 years.
25 years. That's insane. Nobody works for a company for 25 years anymore.
My dad worked for Miller Brewing for 40 plus.
That's what I'm saying. That is a
old school.
That's an old school thing. That millennials and younger do not do that anymore.
Yeah.
Wow, we're really going off on tangents here today on this episode. But that's also the fault of companies because it's corporate ladder climbing is not what it used to be.
Uh-huh.
You don't just get constant pay raises and promotions by staying at the same company. In fact, the reason that it's different now is because the only way to keep increasing your income is by moving companies.
Uh-huh.
That's how you get promotions and raises these days. Mm-hmm. So,
we'll dive into that in the next episode.
At least in big regular kind of classic banking, advertising, public relations, like all that shit, all like the classic jobs. I don't necessarily mean like if you work for a small media company like Randy over here, if you work for a small clothing company like me, like different stuff there. But yeah, I don't know, big stuff covered widely. And
are there any charges coming for these people? Or is there anything illegal that went on?
No, and Nike maintains that she had divested information about West Coast streetwear, that nothing illicit had happened, that there were no conflict of interest, blah 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 blah. But
But we fired her anyway.
She resigned.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That kind of feels like you're pissing on my leg and telling me it's rain. Do you know what I mean?
I like that.
Like, there's just no way that the connection did not aid him in some way, shape, or form.
The discount codes.
Right. So at the best, he had like access to discount codes or inside information or stock availability and stuff like that. And at worst, you know, he did not find 4 pair of Nike mags in a storage warehouse. He siphoned them off from the company. Right. Yeah. And the fact that he was using mom's credit card to boot.
$200,000.
I think one of which may have been a corporate credit card.
It was.
That's just too. It's shady, and that's really all there is to it. So
where there's smoke, there's fire, Randy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Remember that.
Let's continue talking about a little Nike thing. This one's a little more fun. I was originally tipped off to this. Thank you to our Discord. By the way, Discord access now. That comes with joining us on patreon.com/clubcool. It's constantly popping off in there. Fit picks, pickups, inspiration, ask us anything, general grooming, like the whole shebang. There's anything and everything in there. It's great. I first learned about this little tidbit there in the Discord. But you familiar with this shoe from Nike? It's kind of like one of these like ISPA looking ones called the Overbreak.
Yeah.
Cool shoe. There's a version from Undercover that's about to release that's nice, coming in a white and black. There's also this one, which is relatively popular because of its striking resemblance to the Tom Sachs Mars Yard.
Which is my number one
Which
grail.
is your number one grail of all time. It's a lot of people's grail. It's a fabulous shoe.
It is.
It's an awesome shoe.
John Elliott had his. Does he have a child? Is that his? Wearing some.
Yeah, wearing a kid's version. Yeah, and he has a pair. So this sneaker ended up not actually ever getting a U.S. release. It only released internationally. This Nike Overbreak in this Mars Yard colorway. So you can still buy it through the secondary market, StockX, Grailed, eBay, wherever. What did release stateside was this version of the Nike Overbreak. And this one was called the College Gray. Now,
also cool.
Off top, you'll notice that they're kind of similar, right?
They look exactly the same other than the colorway.
Well, but I mean, just like in general, like there's some similarities.
Yes.
The color tone, the color tone of the tan suede on the Mars Yard in here, and the tan suede here,
right.
It's just like almost like a dirtier version of the tan.
Especially behind the check.
Yes, and then of course that's right.
It's almost identical.
And then there's the some of the trims and stuff are different. Well, okay, so we fast forward. That shoe's been released in the U.S. now, and now we'll head to this little Reddit conversation where somebody checked in with the Nike experts on Instagram and basically laid out this story and then said, so did you know that under the College Gray, if you scrape everything away, is the Mars Yard colorway?
Yeah. I love this so much. I love it.
The Nike expert is basically like, no, that would have been a feature we would have highlighted and said something about. Like, I don't know what's going. I don't think that's right. Like, by the way, just other thing. Nike has been doing a lot of this whole like scratch away stuff, like the taupe Jordan 4s they just released. Like they peel away. There were the Chinese New Year Jordan 5 lows that did this. There's a bunch of Air Force Ones that scrape away. This is a thing that they are running with, right? But the Nike experts had no idea about this. This guy reveals this to him, and the Nike expert is pretty much blown away. And initially in this conversation, kind of tries to like just be like, no, go away.
You don't know what you're talking about, kid.
And then after this guy continues to show him more pictures and stuff, I love the kind of just the real response. He's like, yo! Man, I think you may have cracked a code so dope. Yeah, I'd do some work on your end and let me know how it turns out. Then he says, all right, so my teammate actually copped a pair, and he says the upper rubs off for him as well. I know we didn't market it that way, but I'm assuming that was intentional in terms of the design direction. It's a really dope discovery. So, crazy if we just leave it right here, because Nike released a shoe and did not market the fact that there is a whole other colorway laying underneath this shoe. And in fact, it would appear that it is exactly the Mars Yard colorway, down to, if you scrape off the white at the toe and the back, it has the black heel and toe counters. The orange swoosh is there. The laces are even the same. So we go one step further, and now, because this is 2021, we have a conspiracy theory on our hands. And everything deserves its own conspiracy theory as far as I'm concerned. And that is that Tom Sachs basically put the kibosh on the fossil colorway of the Overbreak. Nike needed something to do with all the stock that they had scheduled for the U.S. market. And so they spray painted, did some type of weird overlay on every single pair of these that they released in the U.S. market, called it the college gray, and put it out as a different colorway.
Awesome.
Pretty sweet stuff.
And are you going to pull up the photos?
Yes. Which photo shall I pull up?
Just start clicking away, because it is obvious. You can still see.
Let's see.
Go to another one.
Let's see.
Suede looks almost muddy. That one. So, see around the eyelets, around the...
Yes,
you can see where they missed us. I mean, it's like you...
Because the laces were already in the shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they really did. It totally looks like they just oversprayed. Here's what really tipped them off was so you pull out the laces, and you can even see the paint on the laces.
Uh-huh.
And where the laces are not facing out or where they were inside the shoe, it is the exact same laces as the fossil Mars Yard colorway as well. There's a residue on the tongue. This is, by the way,
again, look at the eyelet. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Even the stitching around the check has got a pink on it.
Yep.
That's awesome. This is great.
So Nike, of course, denies this. They say that nothing like this happened. Now, for me, I read through this whole Reddit thread, and kind of in the comments, people are like, "Oh, I don't know why you can just buy the Mars Yard ones for $50 more on StockX. Like, why would you buy these and go through all the trouble of trying to doing the peel away and the scrape away and all that?" But for me, I kind of think now having a pair of the college grays, is the more collectible item.
Yeah, there's more of a story behind it.
It feels like a low key, as we're talking about assets and investments, all that. This feels like the one to go with.
Yeah.
Because if Nike ever breaks and says, "Okay, yes, here's what happened with those," like this shoe could be worth $1,000.
Yeah,
easy.
So how many pair do
I have on?
To your house?
Well, I'm flooding the market. I got to go to a warehouse right after this podcast. I've got 600 of them coming in. Yeah. I put them on my mom's credit card.
That's nice of her.
Yeah. Well, it's a company card. Big limit. Yeah. So it's nothing to worry about.
Good.
Yeah. So I just thought that Nike, they're up to all sorts of hijinks in the last few weeks here.
They still have better shoes than Adidas.
They do, and it might not be too late. Is it too late to get into Nike stock? Probably. I don't know how they.
It's never too late, Barrett.
Crank it
It's
up
all about
from
the
here.
time in the market.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Not the timing, the time in. You want
The
to
time in the market. Right. Yeah, it's a long play.
That's right.
Long-term hold.
Okay. Unless you're doing GameStop.
Phil, before we get out of here today, you want to listen to a few hotline calls?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's go to the hotline. The number is 833-258-2266. You are free to call us, leave us your take, talk about some fashion, talk about some shoes, talk about Nike, talk about whatever you want, talk about real estate. That is 833-258-2266, or the best way to remember that is just 833-CLUB-COO. Let's hit the hotline. Let's see what the cool kids are out there saying.
Hey, Barrett. Long time, first time here. Love the content you guys put out. but I just don't think anybody gives a shit what you wear to Home Depot. The less thought you put in, the better it is.
Okay, short and to the point.
That's the kind of stuff I like. Very good.
I just want to say I agree, but almost the point of that segment was the fact that there is so little opportunity to actually get dressed up and wear what I want to wear these days that I am resorting. That's where it's pushed me, is to the fact that I'm thinking about, well, could I wear some cool some stuff to Home Depot, right? This call also reminds me of the meme that surfaced this week that was all over the place. That was everybody wants to wear Carhartt until it's time to do Carhartt shit.
That's good.
So that was making the rounds. I've got on my Abercrombie double knees today.
Nice.
Now, fortunately, wearing Abercrombie just means that I need to be ready to pop top at a storefront instead of doing any hard labor. Okay, let's see what else we got.
What up, boys? We didn't get an episode last week. That's cool. But I was really hoping to hear your guys' takes on Groundhog Day and to see what kind of fits you were looking to pull off on February 2nd. So maybe, next episode we can get a little hindsight. Let me know what you guys were up to on Groundhog Day. All right, let me know. Peace.
Okay, Phil, you heard the man. What were you up to on Groundhog Day?
I usually, for Groundhog Day, I always wear what the guys wear when they pull the groundhog out with the top hat.
Your pilgrim outfit?
Yeah, my pilgrim outfit.
Yeah.
The tuxedo.
For me, I like to get out of bed and put pants on and a shirt on and then shoes and socks on. And then I like to get out of bed and put pants on and shirt on and shoes and socks on. And then I like to get out of bed and I put on pants and shirt and socks and shoes on. And then I like to get out of bed and put on pants and a shirt and shoes and socks on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
it.
That's it. No, other option for Groundhog Day is you if you're really celebrating, you got the pilgrim outfit, obviously, but you also need all sorts of tearaway stuff. I feel like, so that when Punxsutawney Phil, your namesake, comes out of his hibernation and declares 6 more weeks of winter or early spring, you can be ready to just either keep your clothes on, or immediately tear away everything and boom, you're in a camp collar and
spring
and swim trunks. So, bunch of different ways to go there.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got a couple more here to listen to.
Fellas, just got hit with the worst snowstorm in recorded history.
This might be our groundhog
here on the East Coast. But I'm always looking forward to summer. Just copped some new hats. Got this new collab between 47 brand and Carhartt. These are your kind of classic baseball caps, but made of the Carhartt type of Kansas jacket material. 2 of these just came in. I'm pretty happy with them. Was just wondering what kind of headwear you guys are looking at this point. Spring right around the corner. Fingers crossed. All right. Love you guys. See ya.
Love you too.
You recently, you and I were out at Family Business Beer Company in Dripping Springs. I really want some dope beer brewery merch, but they were out of the hats that I wanted.
Yeah.
So that was a shame. Speaking of the Carhartt 47 stuff has been on my radar for a while. I really like the collaboration. I think that's cool stuff, especially if you get it in the duck canvas, the brown duck canvas colorway. I think they do navy options as well, which are less interesting to me. I was all jazzed up for that, and then every Houston sports team just
shit the bed.
Mm-hmm. And now I hate all my sports teams, and Houston sports are a dumpster fire. So I'm less interested. I've really been digging. There's a brand, a little kind of techie, gorpy brand from the guy that does Kiko, part of the collective is designer Kiko Kostadanov. Brand is called a Fix. I really like some of their like low profile headwear right now. One thing that I have noticed, just as far as an interesting headwear trend, and I'm seeing this a lot in streetwear, from Noah, from Ame, from Online Ceramics, from a couple other brands, and I find it interesting, is it's the low profile, either 5 or 6 panel, like pretty much like a dad cap shape, but with a snapback. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's okay, but every time it always is like, I don't know, it feels dissonant to me for some reason.
Yeah, I can't pull off many dad caps. I can't pull off hats. I think I look like a buffoon in a lot of hats, hence why I don't wear them that often, but I've pretty much relegated myself to hyper niche Austin brand hats.
That's it's every time you wear one, I think they're awesome.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
kind of,
I appreciate that.
That's the type of stuff that I'm on the lookout for.
Mm-hmm. But that being
sure.
said, they're usually made with a lower budget blank.
Yep.
So they hurt the head.
Yeah.
You can't wear them.
Boss Man at Howler has been wearing one from an architecture firm here that's very well known, Petrified Design. And that one's like really cool. That's a great little niche cap.
Very good. Howler, again, I'll say it again. Great headwear.
I won't say them because I shared it in the Discord, but like we were talking about Howler Spring 21, and I said what my 2 favorite hats were.
Mm-hmm.
I bought them yesterday.
Good.
They're on the way. So I'll have some new Howler headgear as well. Yeah, I like Howler's dad caps are always great. They just don't that style in particular that from us does not fit me very well because they're especially low profile. They probably fit me fine. It's just like a thing. I don't like the way really shallow hats look on my head.
Yeah, or really deep.
Yeah.
Those look even stranger.
I'm trying to think. I mentioned Online Ceramics is doing some really cool headwear. They sell out super quickly because they don't make a lot of headwear, and people are clearly thirsty for that. But they've got some cool ones. I really like the little skull music notes. Thought that was a great little graphic.
Oh, that hoodie with that same graphic is excellent.
But I think we gave several good options there. All right, we got time for one more. Let's hear it.
What up, Phil and Barrett? Let's talk about this Levi's Pokemon collab. You guys seen this?
Randy, is this your phone call?
Like the original 151 Pokemon on this, which is pretty cool. Me in the 9th grade is really loving it. I might not be going for this jean jacket with a giant Pikachu on the back, but I might cop one of these tees. They're pretty basic. I like this one pink tee that's kind of got like the OG best Pokemon lineup on the front. We're talking Snorlax, Psyduck, Butterfree, right, Pikachu, of course, Ditto, the heavy hitters. So let me know what you guys think.
I like those jeans.
Randy was just telling us about Levi's Pokemon before we hopped on air, so it's possible that this is a phone call from him.
Yeah.
Well, we may never know.
Probably.
Randy, did you buy anything from this collaboration yet?
The trucker hat's still coming soon. That might be the one.
Okay. You talking about the floral jeans?
No, the ones with Pokemon.
The big Pikachu jeans?
Pikachu, yeah.
Yeah? You're into those?
Pokemon.
I
like those. I wish that he wasn't on the back as well, just one hit of him.
The floral ones actually kind of look like the carpenter pants that ALD just put out. No shit. So, if you're looking for a lower cost option on some crazy pants there. Crazy pants. I mentioned crazy pants last week.
Fun pants.
Fun and crazy pants. A lot of graphic tees here. Phil and I have talked, I think, a couple of different times about how we just kind of missed the Pokemon craze.
Yeah.
It came right after us. And look, I'm all about nostalgia. Big nostalgia guy. I remember. And this does nothing for me because I did not participate in Pokemon. And so I feel bad about that. But what it does make me think about is like, would I wear any cartoon characters on my person? And that's probably not.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. This is like, it just feels too youthful for me. Kith did like a Looney Tunes collaboration.
No bueno.
And it's like, I like Taz. I like Marvin the Martian. I'm into those guys. But I don't need I don't need cartoon graphics on my body. I
feel the same way about like when Kith does like that Coca-Cola stuff and such. Yeah.
But some of the less graphic stuff, like the Pokemon 551 floral all over print jeans. Oh, the jacket of that is sold out. And Randy, here's your trucker hat. See, now don't you think this is just like, isn't this the Ash costume though? Isn't it basically like a costume hat? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. This, you know what I think what I was more interested in, which hit that button for me a little bit harder, was Levi's Mario. I believe Levi's Mario was this past year. And that one was a little bit more resonating for me. Yeah. But again, for all the Poke heads out there, what are Pokemon fans called? They have a word, Randy?
You know, Randy. Who is your go-to Mario Kart character?
Yoshi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm a Toad guy.
Okay. All right.
Jordan brought over the Nintendo Switch when they were refugees at our house. And we got into it.
Got into it?
Yeah.
Who was he playing with?
Some obscure character.
Bowser?
No. He has glasses. He's like some new guy.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't fuck with that.
I like Bowser. I like Wario too. I'll do Wario
Bowser.
once in a while.
Yeah. Yoshi's just he's a utility hitter, man. He's a utility player. That's jack of all trades.
I like Yoshi.
So that's my guy there. All right, that wraps it up for us today. Once again, jump on that hotline. We've got a couple more calls in the bank that maybe we'll get to next week. But let's hear from the kids out there. 833-258-2266. Join us in the Discord. Join us on Patreon. Patreon.com/clubcool. You can follow us on Instagram at clubcoolpod. Any closing thoughts for you, Phil?
No.
Okay. All right. We'll see you next week. Oh, we may have a good guest coming up in the next couple of weeks as well. So I will leave it at that, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Later.